Hi, welcome to the Miller Life Kitchen and 2025 Plan to Can collaboration with Jeni at Jeni's Scratch Made Kitchen. All month long, we are going to be doing canning videos for you. We have a lot of great channels in the lineup and you can win a prize. All you have to do is comment, like, and then you are eligible to win a pressure canner. So we are giving away that prize on March 3rd at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I am so excited for you guys to see all the videos we have for you this month because February is Canned Food Month. Now check out your grocery stores because there's going to be a lot of canned from the grocery store items on sale this month because it is Canned Food Month. So my first installment is today, and thank you for joining us in the collaboration, and thanks to all of our collaborators that are joining us. Today, I am going to be canning vanilla honey peach butter. So it's an easy recipe. It's a water bath canning recipe. I'm going to be using my steam canner, but you can water bath, or if you are not a canner, just refrigerate it or freeze it. That's how easy it is. And it's delicious. You can put it on you can use it in all kinds of ways. So let's get started. All right, I have these prepared peaches that are in my freezer. Love the planning to canning because this was a plan to can that I had over the summertime. These are all processed. The skin is all removed. So I am just gonna put these in some water in my sink to kind of thaw it a little. And then into the crock pot. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's in this canning book. And I don't know about you guys, do you tab off? I love to just sit and like look through my books and tab off things that I want to make or favorites. But anyway, disregard all my tabs. What I love is that there is directions for cooking it on the stove, but there's also directions to do fruit butters in your crock pot, which I love doing that because it's very hands-off, it's very easy. And all you do in these recipes is you pick one of my tabs fell out. You pick one sweetener, one liquid, and then obviously your fruit. Still a little bit frozen, but it's fine. So what we're going to be doing is just throw in my frozen peaches in here. Now in the directions, it calls for 18 to 24 medium peaches, as I mentioned, chopped, peeled, and depitted. Depitted, is that a word? Well, whatever. And then your first step is get the peaches in there. Now, if you're doing this from not frozen, it's the same process, except it might take a little bit longer because mine are a little bit frozen yet. Lemon juice, this is important for preservation. And you're literally just going to put this on high for about an hour with the lid on. And then we'll see our next steps. What you're looking for is for them to soften up so you can puree them and add your other ingredients. So we'll be back when we get to that point. Where this is about, I'd say about an hour and a half. I've had it on high with the lid on. Take the lid off. And now I'm going to use my immersion blender and puree it. Okay, once this all has been pureed, now we're going to put in our 3 components that it says in the book. Don't forget, we've already had the skin removed, pitted peaches that I had in the freezer. And I'm going to use honey as my one sweetener. Now, if you check out the book, there are quite a few sweeteners that they have to pick from. So go in and pick your sweetener. You can use sugar, brown sugar, I think agave's in there. There's quite a few choices. You start at 1 cup, you can go up to 2 cups. I'm starting right at the 1 cup. You can always add more later, but I've made this before, and for us, we don't like it really sweet. Peaches are sweet, so lemon juice takes a little bit of that off, but yeah, we don't like it real sweet. But I'll taste it later, and I'll let you know if I add anything. and 3/4 cup of any liquid. So there's a lot of liquids on that list as well. There's juices like apple, pineapple, cranberry. There's a couple, water. I'm just using water. And then for my flavor, which again, that has a whole list as well, but kind of think about like what you're putting it in. I'm gonna use vanilla. I'm starting at 1 teaspoon. And it really doesn't have a measurement for your flavoring. It just says to taste. So I am starting at 1 teaspoon. Again, same as with the, same as with your sugar component, your sweetener. You could always add more if it's, you know, needed. So I'm starting at 1 teaspoon. And again, I'll let you know what I end up doing after I taste it. Now, this can take anywhere from 6 hours to 10 hours, depending how liquidy and juicy your peaches were. So I'm going to start out, because it's kind of cool in my house, with the lid. You do not want to close it all the way, because what we're looking for now with a crock pot, what happens is it keeps too much moisture in there when the lid is all the way closed. So you can put the lid on askewed like this, and what it's going to do is it's going to evaporate and it's going to cook the butter down so it thickens up and makes it nice and thick for you. So that kind of is by, again, those factors that I mentioned. Sometimes, like if I'm making this in warmer weather, for whatever reason, I sometimes just take the whole lid off, and I may do that, but I want to make sure this stays warm enough. If you're not a canner, you could still make this and you can refrigerate it or even freeze it. So there's options there if you're not a canning person. So we'll be back later. So this is what I do with my Waterbath canner. This is the steam canner. To keep my jars warm, I put them in here with the lid on while I'm warming up to a simmer. And that way my jars stay warm and tempered, and then I take maybe 2 at a time out, and then I fill them. We are ready to can. Had this going all day, but here is our butter. I left the measurements at 1 cup of the honey. So I left all the flavoring exactly how I had it. All right, so I am doing, these are the 12-ounce jars that sadly you cannot get anymore, from what I understand. Luckily I have a bunch. Now there are 2 different headspaces for this. It's a 1/4 inch if you're doing half pint, and 1 inch if you are doing a pint. So since this is the in-between, I am going to shoot for the 1 inch headspace. Okay, so fill your jar. Now you could debubble, but I really don't see, it's butter. See, it's a little warm, but I'm not going to debubble, but I do have it here. So if you're in the habit of doing it for everything, I would just debubble a little bit. And then you will, I'm just using water. I'm going to wipe my rims, and then you're going to put your lid on. And then the ring, finger tight. It's going to go into my steam canner. My steam canner, as I said, on the stove warming up. So everything is warm, and then I will turn it up. I love the steam canner. It uses very little water. Now, if you look at your book, it does say that it is, I believe it was 6 half pints and 3 pints. I could be incorrect about that. Okay, so we have my rim wiped. Now my lid. You notice these are, I believe they're Harvest Guard lids. For water bathing, I don't mind using some of the ones that are really cheap at Walmart. It's great for that. I never have a problem with them sealing when I do it with water bathing. I generally don't even use them for pressure canning. Gives you a good amount of water bath things. And also dry storage they're great for. Where you don't even have to process it at all. All right. Bubble a little bit. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to do that, but if you like to always do it that way, you never forget, that's a good habit to come into with canning. That's why I like to have everything out and organized when I'm measuring things, as well as doing this part. Is I like to keep everything just organized. That way I don't hopefully forget anything. Fingertip tight and into the canner. I'll keep going. I'll bring it back. All right, this worked out perfectly. I had a little tiny bit for my husband to eat, and I ended up with 5. These are the 3/4 pints, 12 ounces. And I just wanted to show you, see the amount of water that's required for a steam canner. That's the depth of the pan. And then there's our water level. And then I'm going to put the lid on. All right, you go by your zones. I am in zone 1, so I'm going to be waiting for it to get this arrow to get to this green, and then I will start my timing. No matter what size you're using, pint and under, it's all 10 minutes processing time. So that's easy. And that's it. I'll be back. Okay, my zone 1 is in the green. So now I will start my timing for 10 minutes. Here is my final beautiful jar of vanilla honey peach butter. Thank you for joining me today in Plan to Can. And don't forget to check out all the videos, watch, like, and comment. And I will see you next time at the Miller Life Kitchen.